Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I just want to discuss with you the state of the world, what I foresee for the United States, and what I think is actually going to make a change when it comes to US politics, foreign relations, etc. We are at this point, you guys, where our government is so tainted, like absolutely overruled by people that are ruled by money. Okay? They're ruled by money, they're ruled by power, they have no desire to serve you. They are not protecting and serving by any means. There are people, by the way, in the government that are still trying to protect and serve. But it is, few and far between, okay? And it's really gotten to the point where we're gonna have to take our nation's capital back, okay? And yes, I do mean organize. I do mean that you guys need to figure out ways to meet with people around you and organizations that you already work with and get thinking about and talking about what it is that you guys are going to do to help with the revolution, to be honest with you. Because a revolution is coming, in my opinion. Everything that's going on in Iran is going to cause a very big change for us over here. I do think that the life that we've had for most of our lives, American lives, is no longer going to be sustainable. Now, what do I mean by that? Unless there's something very, very seriously shocking that happens in Iran, where we come across some type of agreement where we share the Strait of Hormuz, I can't get that right for some reason, with Iran, the cost of energy here is no longer going to be as readily accessible as it has been in our lives, to be honest with you. This, if this is the case, will lead to the deindustrialization of the nation. We will no longer be able to kind of rely on industry the way that we have been. We won't be able to rely on even like gasoline to be getting places, fossil fuels to be powering our lives and homes. And I bet there's going to be a lot of like companies that fall, like big ones, okay? Which is going to be tough. Like our economy is about to experience something I think we've never experienced before. On the other side of that, of course, there is benefit, right? Because it's like, think about the Great Depression. It was a really sad, sick era for a lot of people, of course. But what came after it was revolutionary change and a golden age. I think that's what we're looking at right now. People are not going to be okay with how corrupt everything is. Again, politicians in the United States are fully protecting themselves, their own interest, the interest of those around them that give them money. But not you and me, by any means. So we really have to take it back into our own hands and realize that we are the people that run this country, okay? There are people at the top and money is important, yada yada. But money is not everything. Money collapses in every advanced civilization. And I think it's time that we start using our brains and trying to figure out how is it that we are going to be different than Rome? How are we going to be different than Spain? These countries have done similar things to us where they used to be backed by real value. Like Rome, their coins used to be like actually gold and stuff, but then eventually they started like taking the gold out, and then their money like had actually no like value or no backing. And the United States has done exactly that. So like for a while we've been kind of looking at this collapse. I want you guys again to understand truly that like Trump is the perfect storm, and all of you who voted for Trump were set up, in my opinion, by Israel, because I think Israel helped to get Trump into office because they had for literally decades been setting different... Oh, squirrel. Hello, squirrel. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Why do you want to be in this show? You want to be in my video? Maybe we should look up the meaning behind squirrels. Squirrel! Oh! Didn't like that. Okay. Hold on. While we're here, let's just look up the meaning behind a squirrel, because I'm telling you, when animals cross your paths, there is some spiritual meaning behind it. Squirrels, I know, are just squirrels, they're doing whatever. But there is some spiritual meaning behind it. I can't even remember what I was talking about. That squirrel distracted me for real. Maybe I wasn't supposed to talk about whatever I was talking about. Okay, hold on. Let's look up the spiritual sign. Let's start with that, and then we can get back to wherever we were. Oh, okay. So what I think is Israel has been setting up, I don't think just Donald Trump. I think they had like their sights set on a few different people in the United States. And then I think Epstein was like part of this whole deal, like basically where they were like, they wanted to have, I think that they wanted to have dirt on US politicians and high profile individuals, because I think that they actually foresaw that these high profile individuals may potentially become the president or just in like powerful positions in the United States. And by getting a lot of dirt on them through like the whole Epstein parties and all that stuff, they're able then to control them. Okay. Interestingly enough, Diddy just came into my mind, and I haven't done much research into Diddy and like why he does what he does, but like I wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of connection to Israel there as well, because again, I feel like they're strategic in that they are planning for the future when it comes to American rule. And Donald Trump is really like the perfect person, because he's just so like power and money driven that like I think that he got set up by Israel, and then all y'all who voted for him also got set up by Israel, if that makes sense. It's not letting me look at a squirrel because my internet, I don't know why it's not like giving me internet. Give us internet, gang. Okay, I'm barely connected to my parents' thing. If you're still here, like you're a real one, because you know we're just kind of vibing right now. We're kind of vibing. It doesn't want to work for me. It doesn't want to look up the spiritual significance of seeing a squirrel. Let's try once more. And if it's meant to be, it shall be. If it's not, it's not. Oh, it is. Across spiritual traditions, squirrels are constantly gathering, storing, and preparing. So they can symbolize preparation, future alignment. You're in a building phase, even if it doesn't feel like it. What you're doing now will pay off later. You're being asked to trust delayed results. Just plant now, harvest later. Resourcefulness and creativity. Squirrels don't wait for perfect conditions, they adapt. Seeing one can be a message like you already have what you need. There's a solution you're not seeing yet. Get creative with what's in front of you. Play and lightness. They're also playful, fast, and curious. Spiritually, this can mean You might be taking something too seriously. There's room for joy, movement, and spontaneity. Not everything has to be heavy to be meaningful. That's kind of helpful. Focus versus scattered energy. Squirrels move fast, see, but with purpose. But I also felt like there was like something there that had to do with distraction. The deeper layer. Sometimes the meaning isn't just symbolic, it's reflective. Did it feel random or like it caught my attention on purpose? It felt like it caught my attention on purpose. But seeing a squirrel is often a sign that you're in a phase of building something meaningful and you're being asked to trust it, stay resourceful, and not lose your lightness in the process. I actually like that because everything I'm talking about is kind of deep and dark. Like everything having to do with Israel, everything having to do with like the United States and like the powers that be being like actual criminals, pedophiles, money driven, like literal pigs. It's insane. It can be really hard. It can be really hard to keep going and feel like anything positive at all. But what I'm trying to like make you understand, and something that I'm actually starting to understand, is that these people, I don't want to give them more power than they have in my mind. Okay, they are evil and they have power because of the position that they're in, but simultaneously they must not also have as much power as sometimes we give them credit for. Because if you have like legitimate power, you don't need to rely on money because you just influence naturally. Okay, they can't do that. They can't do that, and that's why they're scared of people that can, i.e. Charlie Kirk. They didn't like him because he was capable of organizing people. And organizing feels almost like a bad word because truly, you watch Star Wars, bro, like this is the resistance, bro. You have to decide what side you're gonna be on. I feel like most people, if you're a human being with empathy and you know you've gotten this far, you probably are anti-Trump, you're probably anti-US government at this point. I mean, most everybody in the entire freaking world is. So I don't know. I mean, I'll decide for you. Be on the resistance, bro. Start organizing. Start organizing. Start talking about your piece and how you're going to help the collective break free from this Freemasonic. I'm telling you, I think Land of the Free was low-key them being like, we're Freemasons in the United States. But it's like time for us to break free from this, okay? The same way how in Bug's Life, the grasshoppers are like, bruh, if they realize that there's way more of them than there are of us, and that they actually run this show and we would starve without them, then we're cooked. That's where we're at right now, okay? They are cooked without us. We run the military. People, human beings run the military, okay? People run like everything, okay? We're workers. And while they go sit and do nothing, like that's great and all, like have fun doing that, but at the end of the day, like the human beings are the ones that run this ish, okay? And if we all realize like the people that the people that are running us are going against the Constitution, are not American, and are traitors, the second that you can realize that, and that they're also doing this for another country that, by the way, is going to try to take the entire world. Israel actually believes that there's going to be a war between us, and I mean us, I mean like everybody other than Israel, and them. And they believe that they're going to win that war. They believe that by creating this war, they're also going to invite divine influence. It's scary. They're not going to stop in the Middle East, and I think they're going to try and choke out America, because at the end of the day, they're using us. They're keeping enemies close. They are. We are not their friends. Let's keep that very straight. Right now, they're puppeteering us because they're making us look silly so that they can knock down what used to be considered a very reliable world power. But we've been looking silly for a while. Trump definitely like really solidified that for us. The entire world thinks we're crazy like idiots. But this is a tactic, I believe, that's being used. It's tearing down It's tearing down the United States, and the United States is about to be the next and newest empire that falls, in my opinion. And they did do a good job. They did a good job. This was a plan clearly over decades to centuries, and it's playing out right now in front of us. And yeah, we need to start talking about what it is we're going to do about it, and not giving these people as much power to the point of thinking, oh, there's nothing that I can do to change this. Yes, there is. And they actually really benefit from you believing that you're too small to do anything about it. But the key to this is that we can't do it individually. You can't do things individually. You can, but like, you can't make the type of change that we need to see by ourselves. We can absolutely make those changes if we organize and get together and figure out, like, creatively what it is that we are going to do to solve this problem, because this is a problem that has a potential solution. We just need to trust ourselves and go deep inside of ourselves to figure out how is it that we're going to make this better. We also need to think about the way that we are reflecting and believing in the potentialities for what this future could look like, okay? Because I realized that I can get overcome by fear. And I realized that because I got so caught up in the fear of all of this, I started to think in a way that is negative, and my reality started to kind of be created around that negativity. Like, I started to be like, oh my God, we're all like, it's going to be this huge war. It's going to be extremely violent here and all these things. But at the end of the day, those are all still assumptions. As human beings, we do have the ability, the potential to create something different than like an absolute like violent massacre. Like, we can try our best to think differently. Like, perhaps we can evolve from this. Perhaps we don't have to be like other fallen civilizations. If we actually reflect on history and what's caused certain things to happen in other, like, I want to say like empires, then we can learn from those mistakes that they made and use them to educate ourselves on the plan that we're going to create for this, really, like, it's almost like a civil war. But I mean, I really don't think it's going to be the people versus the people. I think it's going to be the people versus really the politicians that are, and the elite, really. I think that's mainly what it's going to be, because anybody that's in military that actually cares about the country and the freedom of the people within it, that are actually there to serve others, they're going to get to that point where they're like, the people that are employing me right now, and deploying me right now, they straight up don't care about me. They're sending me off to die while they sit and sip on their champagne in Mar-a-Lago, So yeah, I don't think it's going to be the people versus the people. I think it's going to be good people versus bad people, for real. Like, the people that are actually human beings and that care to have like a good life and care that future generations have good lives and America can get its reputation back and all of those things. It's going to be those people versus the people that literally are just in it for themselves, that are hoarding money, that are not caring about human life other than their own and the people around them that they're friends with. And interestingly enough, they probably don't even actually care about the people that are around them or their friends. It seems as much like more so they're worried about money. And the other thing is war makes a lot of money for people. It's like it's the highest grossing business in the world. So there's a lot of people that benefit from other people dying, unfortunately. And I think that, like, it truly is possible to break away from this at this time. It's truly possible. Actually, I know it is. But it's like, we have to really get into, like, believing that with each other. We have to start talking to each other. We have to start thinking about, like, how are we going to make a change? Because, again, if you start thinking, like, oh, I wish I could make a change, but I'm not going to be able to because this is, like, too big, it's bigger than me, that is what keeps them where they are. So start realizing you can make a change. And we need you to start thinking about how we're going to do it. Like, we need to get our minds together and really think about, like, how are we going to get ourselves out of this mess? Because the people that are in leadership right now are either making excuses for people that are doing evil and terrible things, or they are doing evil and terrible things for themselves. Again, remember that these people need to sacrifice other human beings in order to have power. That's not real power. I'm sorry. That's not real power. That's not real influence. They have to pay for it. They don't know how to move people, you guys. That is something that we have that they don't. Okay? So keep on trucking, bro. Like, this is, we popped into the timeline, into the matrix in a crazy moment in human history. And there's a reason why you're here right now, because you have something that will help this revolution. Like, this is bigger than you, this is bigger than me, this is bigger than all of us. It's something that we have to figure out together. Okay? I really believe we can do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm just going to continue posting and just talking about whatever comes to me. We can figure this out. Like, this is not the end all be all. This is not, let's all commit suicide because it's all not going to work out. Like, the only way, like, to get past this storm is to go through it, and to battle. Okay? No matter what that looks like. It's on some Hunger Games shit out here, bro. And it's time. It's time to take this country back, because it is a beautiful country with beautiful people. At the end of the day, I'm becoming more patriotic. I haven't been patriotic in many years because I haven't wanted to stand for what America has been standing for, but I do care about this country. I do care about the people in it, and I do care about what it's supposed to mean. What we all believe it's supposed to mean to be an American, and that is truly to be free. That is truly to be able to actually help advance the human race by creating. That is what it feels like to be American. To be able to, like, share your opinion freely. And those things are not happening right now. Like, our freedom of speech is like gone right now. People are getting murdered in the street. Like, it's not okay. There's genocides going on around the world. There are people getting murdered around the world, and we're silly to believe that everything's just going to stay the same over here, because it's not. Things are going to change. But we're more powerful. We, the people, are more powerful than those that are in power now, because they had to trick us to get there. For generations, they've had to trick us in order to stay in power. But now that we know the trick, the gig is up, and it's time for us to take back what is rightfully ours. Get serious, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, it's possible. It really is. That's not a made-up thing. It is possible for us to win this. And we will. We will win this, not only for each other, but for our sons, for our daughters, for the generations to come. Thank you.